Anyways, so Sammy D, shout out Sammy D, shot me a message and wanted me to address a specific topic on the pod. He asked, will Travis Kelce retire? So Jason Kelce, his brother, as you guys all know, center for the Eagles, he retired, so maybe Travis wants to join him in retirement. Right? He is. Travis is 23, my gosh, 34, and Jason's 36. Yeah, and they are very close. They actually have a podcast together called New Heights. So shout out to that podcast. It's actually fun to watch. Two dudes that know their stuff. But I really think that this whole answer could change depending on if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year. Travis just seems like the kind of guy that once he wins his third Super Bowl, he'd retire. I think he has a few more years left in him if he wanted to continue playing. Like, he seems like a competitive spirit. So I think he can still play if he's effective. I personally don't know what he's thinking, but I think the Super Bowl could kind of change his answer a little bit.
He's had injuries this year, right?
Yeah, he hasn't been as good this year either. Like, obviously he's slowing down a little bit. He's 34.
He played great last weekend.
Yeah, he did. He's
drove the end zone. Wow, that was.
Yeah, he did. I still think he can be a very, very good player in this league for the next 2, 3, 4 years even. He's just so good at finding open pockets. Like, sometimes they don't even draw. Like, he doesn't run a designed route.
Nope.
He'll like just go out there and look for a pocket where people aren't, depending on like zone and man, and then he just finds a way to get open. So I would be.
He's got a great rapport with Patrick, right? Like, the pair of them now have the best touchdown quarterback to receiver ratio now in the playoffs.
Yeah, they have the most touchdowns between the duo.
Passing Gronk and Brady, and obviously Rice and Montana back in the day. So
yeah.
Are we gonna talk about Jason or no?
Yeah. Jason had some fun there at that Chiefs-Bills game. It was funny. He was drinking obviously a lot of beers, had his tarp off, was cheering.
He was in tracks too, eh?
Yeah.
He's enjoying the retirement.
He even jumped down and said hi to some folks and some fans, had some beers with them. But I thought his wife's reaction in the background was hilarious. She just looked like she almost didn't care, and she just knows yep, this is my big dummy and I'm proud of it. Which kind of reminds me a little bit of me and Brianna. She is watching this. Pretty close, comparable.
I like Jason. It was like the third, maybe fourth quarter. They showed a picture of him in the suite, and he still has his shirt off. He's drinking. He's got the tracks. He was leaned up against the wall. You could tell he's definitely had a few too many. But they even I saw a video. I don't know if it was on. It might have been on YouTube doing tailgating beforehand. He was doing tailgating.
Oh yeah, he was drinking beer out of a bowling ball.
That was it.
Yeah, out of a bowling ball.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Jason and Travis are both legends, actually from Cleveland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Travis that said this on his podcast that he when he was getting drafted to the NFL, he was begging the Browns to take him because he was a big Browns fan from Cleveland. Both of them are. East Heights is where, or I think that's what it's called, East Heights in Cleveland. That's why they're called New Heights, is their podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, both two good guys. Follow them on their podcast because it's great.
Let's see what happens to them this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on there.
They don't have the tailgate in Baltimore like they do in Buffalo, so they may not be as tapped out. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Anyways, on to the next one. So we actually have a baseball question from Erin Ritchie, and she wants to know our thoughts on the extra base runner rule in extra innings in the regular season. So personally, I'm fine with it in the regular season because it was intended to be marketed towards people that are a little bit more casual, like baseball to the casual fan. It's a bit slower pace, can be a bit boring, a little bit dry, so I get why they're doing that. Because if we go to extra innings and it can go up to I've seen 18, 19 inning game before, and realistically most people aren't going to sit there and watch that entire game if they can't score right away in extra innings. I'm not one of them. I would sit through it, but I know baseball, bleacher seats aren't exactly the most comfortable to begin with. So I get it, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't want it to happen in the playoffs though, because that's a winner go home kind of kind of game. Like, it's a little bit more important in the playoffs, and I don't think that they should be having a base runner on second base to start extra innings in the playoffs, because it gives one team a bit of an unfair advantage. But yeah, and then regarding other new baseball rules from last year, I'm completely against the pitch clock. I hate it because, again, like I said with the first point, it is marketed towards the casual fan, so it's trying to speed up the game. But that can cause a lot of serious injuries to pitchers when they have to speed up their typical pace, stuff like that. Like, it can lead to severe arm injuries. And I'm also against banning the shift because I think it takes away a large portion of strategy in the sport. And I think that if you can't hit the ball the other way because there's a shift going on or whatever, that's on you. Like, you need to be able to hit the ball where they aren't. And then just kind of like as a whole, I didn't like the idea of making rule changes simply because it kind of changes the game too much for me. Like, it's a prestigious sport that's been around since the early 1900s with no rule changes. I think it was kind of bad for baseball to do so, simply because of just like the prestige and the past of baseball. But
they were probably pressured though too, right? The games are going 4 hours.
Yeah.
And, you got the networks. Like, they're
Yeah.
probably being pressured. But I agree with the second base. I think that's a great rule. Not in the playoffs, so totally agree with you on that. The pitch clock, I think they're modifying it this year.
yeah, now it's 18 seconds when there's somebody on base instead of 20.
They brought it down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would have figured they'd go the other way. Bring
No,
it up a few.
that's my problem with this. Like, now with a person on base, we're having to work quickly. You might short arm the ball a little bit more. That can cause strain on your arm. I don't like it.
Okay, well, a lot of pitchers got hurt last year because of the pitch clock, right? They're rushing, forcing it. As far as the infield shift, there's a few, like Jeff McNeil, if you look at his batting stats last year, like he hit like 260, he hit like 320, 330 the year before, because he can hit the ball wherever they're not playing, but he can't do that without the shit, if they're not shifting, right? So, but
Cool.
Great question.
Yeah, great questions, guys. Thank you for those. Keep them up. Like I said, we'll go over a question